What's going on, guys? Gaming David here. Today, I'm watching this video. It's by Game Theory. I also want to give a big thank you to him. I know it's hard to make the videos that he makes, but somehow he does it. It takes him a long time, and always when he makes them, he always makes them really good. And I just want to say thank you for making these videos, and also you're amazing. So I watched this video several times, and I had trouble understanding this. So if you can watch this right now. Also, I'm gonna try not to pause as much during this, but okay. So watch this, and I'll try to find the part that's wrong with it.
You might be asking me, but we all thought the protagonist of FNAF 4 was the crying child, the one who gets himself bitten during the birthday party because you have flashes of a hospital bed and hear a flatline at the end of the game. We also assumed that the animatronic nightmare was representative of death. And you know what? You're absolutely right. That is exactly what we've been thinking. And here's the thing, we weren't wrong. We've apparently been right about all of that, except there was one teeny tiny itsy bitsy little wrinkle that we didn't expect. Michael Afton was the bite victim. Michael Afton was the crying child.
Alright, so he just explained that Michael Afton, or the little crying child, or he was the crying child, and at the end of Five Nights at Freddy's 4, when he got his frontal lobe bitten off, and then died at the end of FNAF 4, his father, William Afton, promised to put him back together. And then, if he came back to life, and then was an adult in sister location, and you were able to activate the camera in the Five Nights at Freddy's little room Easter egg, you were able to type 1983 onto the keypad, and then it would show cameras, and then it would show the Five Nights at Freddy's 4 house with the bed, and stuff, where he was spying on him. And how was it that Michael Afton was the crying child? Yeah, he comes back to life in sister location as a grown man, and he's trying to keep him, and he's trying to spy on himself or some type of him. So this I have no idea how this makes sense, but when he is in sister location, he is apparently a giant purple rotting flesh with the combination of the Funtime animatronics entered, and he I guess spits them out because his flesh has rotten and he can't carry them anymore, and I guess he is immortal now.
I know! I couldn't believe it either, but the proof here is unquestionable. On page 75, a page asking about imaginary friends and featuring the psychic friend Fredbear plush, the spirit outright asks, does he still talk to you? And perhaps the most damning piece of evidence of all, on page 103, the huge reveal, quote, the party was for you. Mike Afton is confirmed to be the crying child. He's the bite victim. He's the one who, at the end of the game, apparently needed to be put
This is the part that I was talking about.
child. He's the bite victim. He's the one who, at the end of the game, apparently needed to be put back together. It seems undeniable at this point. But then that leads to the obvious next question. How could he have been bitten and died there, but then also be in sister location as an adult, gotten himself scooped, blah, 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 until FNAF 6 when he finally burns with the rest of his family? I have been smacking my head against a wall trying to make sense of it all. And I have some theories. Big surprise there. It's interesting. When I did my final FNAF theory, not that one, my final FNAF theory. No, not that one either. Those are technically FNAF 6 theories. God, jeez, this one. When I did this theory, I concluded that the story of FNAF was, at its core, a story about a family, the Afton family. But now it's becoming increasingly clear to me that it's really the story of Michael Afton specifically. For endgame page, the survival logbook, and we're still not done. The survival logbook also connects Mike to FNAF 2. On page 56, the spirit asks, was your solid connect complete with a burned down Fazbear Fright in the background, which seems to be hinting at him being Michael Afton even shares a connection with the dead. It all begins in probably the most confusing place of all, Midnight Mo.
You should listen to this closely, where this somehow or supposedly is an endless timeline where it starts here.
Motorist from FNAF 6. When I first spoke about this minigame, I said that the mustard man here was William Afton, but I could tell that a lot of you weren't too convinced in my conclusion, and I'll be honest, I wasn't 100% sure of it either, but it was the best I could do at the time. But now, I am 100% confident that that is who we're seeing here. You see, FNAF 6 is simultaneously the end of the story as well as the beginning. It's the end because, well, everyone burns to death, and it's the beginning because it's the origin story of the puppet. And as we know, everything begins with the puppet. She's the one that allows all the other animatronics to become possessed, as we see in FNAF 2, which makes the security puppet minigame pretty much any of these games. And we also know that it's William who killed Charlotte in that back alley. This is the origin story of the purple guy, complete with his purple car that we saw in FNAF 2 after all. But here's the detail I was missing before. If you brighten up the final screen of the security puppet minigame, you'll see tire tracks left by the purple car driving away from his crime. This leads to events of Midnight Mo.
Alright, so this explains that it's an endless timeline, right? Because, let's go back to right here.
Screen of the security puppet minigame.
Look, that was Charlotte in the back alley. William Afton killed her, right? And then the puppet comes out. This is the girl who goes on to possess the puppet. And then here is the original puppet that started off first. So this ties that it is an endless timeline. Remember how I said earlier in the video where Michael Afton, the crying child, was grew up and was who we were playing as in sister location, and he's keeping surveillance on himself so that he doesn't run away. And this is probably how they were supposed to break the timeline. Michael Afton as an adult stops his younger self from going to the place and getting himself killed, and then William Afton, his Michael Afton's dad, he prevents him from killing Charlotte in the back alley so that this messy timeline would have never happened. I just wanted to make this video to clear up everything and try to make everything a little bit simpler. So this is an endless timeline. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed that video.